Call the meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll go ahead with the roll call.
President Pro Tem Dom.
Here.
Treasurer Fritz.
Here.
Secretary Thomas. Absent. Trustee Gate.
Here.
Trustee Zimmerman.
Present.
Trustee Everard.
Here.
Trustee Wazor.
Here. Okay,
We have a quorum.
we have a full quorum, so we'll start out with 4.0, the conservation ethic. Lloyd?
To foster a conservation ethic among McHenry County citizens, helping all of us, regardless of the basis of our interest in nature, to develop a greater awareness of our role in and responsibility for total community of life. Conservation ethic asks us to assume a moral duty to become educated about conservation issues and then act on that information. Conservation ethic is an attitude that recognizes the importance of preserving natural heritage of the county's open space. Goal number 1 is to preserve native plants and animals, geological features, and natural ecosystems that are threatened or endangered in McHenry County, and to reclaim such ecosystems that have been degraded for the benefit of present and future generations and for their own sake.
Great, thank you. And we'll have the reading of the conservation stewardship pledge. Brian?
We pledge to make a difference by standing up for our water, wildlife, and way of life in McHenry County. Our quality of life in McHenry County depends on healthy and sustainable natural resources, thoughtful developed cities and towns, a strong economy, and beautiful outdoor places to explore, discover, and recreate.
Go ahead and read number 2, please.
We will protect and restore wetlands, streams, and rivers, which helps reduce flooding.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, next, everybody look at the agenda. And I have a motion on adopting it.
So, second.
Moved and seconded.
Trustee Zimmerman.
Yes.
Trustee Gayton.
Yes.
Trustee Wazor.
Yes.
Trustee Everard.
Yes.
Treasurer Fritz.
Yes.
Vice President Dom.
Yes.
Agenda's been adopted.
Next will be 7.0, election of officers. How do we nominate? And then
Right, so we have, the floor is open, and President Pro Tem Dom, you would ask if there's any nominations through the pretense.
Okay. We'll look for nomination. Yes,
We nominate Chris Dom for president.
Second. First, can I third that?
it's moved and seconded, nominate Chris Dom. Any other nominations on the floor? Any other nominations?
Motion to close nominations. Somebody,
Oh, a motion to close the nomination.
Second.
Moved and seconded, we'll go ahead and vote.
Trustee Everard.
Yes.
Treasurer Fritz.
Yes.
Trustee Wazor.
Yes.
Trustee Gayton.
Yes.
Trustee Zimmerman. President Dom.
congratulations.
You guys have to put up with me. Okay. We'll go ahead for nomination for vice president. I'll not nominate Lloyd ever. Okay, this nomination second. Any other nominations on the floor? And are there any other nominations for vice president? Hearing none, is there
Motion to close.
a motion to close nominations? I make a motion to close the nomination. Moved and seconded, close nominations, so we'll vote for vice president.
Trustee Wazor.
Yes.
Vice President Everard.
Yes.
Treasurer Fritz.
Yes.
Trustee Gayton.
Yes.
Trustee Zimmerman.
Yes.
President Dom.
Yes,
Motion passed.
all right.
Congratulations.
Next, we'll go for treasurer. And I'll nominate Ray. Oops, I'm sorry.
Second.
Move in second. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations on the floor? Hearing none.
With the nominations closed. For treasurer.
Okay, moved and seconded.
Sorry, for the second. Was there-
Yes.
Second.
All right, I'm ready for,
We'll do the vote for the treasurer.
trustee Fritz,
Yes.
treasurer. I'm sorry. Treasurer Everard,
Yes.
trustee Wazorek,
Yes.
gotta get used to these new
Oh,
titles.
nothing.
Trustee Zimmerman,
Yes.
trustee Gayton,
Yes.
and president Dom.
Yes,
Congratulations.
so Ray is.
I'm sorry, I said that wrong, but I've got it down.
That's right. Okay. All right, the floor is open for nominations for secretary. And I'll nominate that Fritz.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other nominations? For secretary? Are there any other nominations? Okay, I entertain a motion to close nominations.
Motion to close nominations for secretary.
Okay, it's been moved. And seconded by Lloyd.
Okay. Trustee Zimmerman,
Yes.
treasurer Gayton,
Yes.
trustee Wazorek,
Yes.
vice president Everard,
Yes.
and secretary Fritz.
Yes, I got both for myself.
Yeah. Y'all getting out of it.
And president Dom,
Yes.
motion passed.
Good. All right. 7.5 is the trustee outreach assignments. Do we do that right now, or do we want to?
So it's up to, as president, you can entertain a discussion. There are some positions that we normally liaison to, the foundation being one of them. There is also the COG and others. So to whatever the board would choose to do, you could think about it, discuss it, and make those appointments next month, or if you're ready to go down the list and do it tonight, it's up to you.
I don't know if we're ready. Would you like to think about it? The next meeting, or are we ready to? Can we get the list and then talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, the list for. That would probably be.
It's no longer
No longer
on.
listed out, yeah.
And President Dunn will go through kind of the agenda format, how you would like to see that, but I can put out a list of what we normally liaison to.
It used to be, yeah, that's true. That was good. Okay. Well, let's, we'll get that list and put that on the agenda for next month. Okay, special recognition and presentations. We have a certificate of achievement for excellence in the financial reporting for the year of 2022 Government Finance Officers Association.
We do. So again, kudos to, and maybe Director of Administration and Finance can speak to the significance of this award. There's this one and also the budget presentation, both very well. Much work goes into receiving this type of honor. It shows the excellent work in our financial reporting, both on how we present our information and to provide that to them, as well as the budget presentation in detail and so on. That one we've received every year that we have presented. Anything else you want to say? But I just want to thank and to recognize our finance team
Right.
for their work.
I would just say the same thing. Kudos to all the staff, because as you look at both of those documents, there's a lot of information in them. It takes a lot of extra time for the managers, supervisors, the accounting team, to pull all those pieces. Generate those pieces very important. So And it's, I think it's well worth it. It's a district.
Well, good. We're sort of getting used to it. So we're expecting it. It's like Michael Jordan during the Bulls.
That's okay.
So watch yourself. Good. Well, congratulations. And then this next award would be the distinguished budget presentation.
Right, and that was the budget presentation. Similarly, that is the detail that we put into the budget, and it takes a lot of work, as Andy stated, through the whole, really proud of that. I think it's an easy read for anyone that looks at our material. Very transparent, highlights kind of strategically where we're headed, what goals we've accomplished, where we're, we have on the horizon. So again, I think it's a great job.
Okay, great. And next, we'd like to recognize Gabe Powers. Congratulations, Gabe. Elizabeth, you want-
Well, I am very proud, and I acknowledge on this, and this is something Gabe pursued on his own, but talk about professional development. So he sought to advance professional development and obtain his MPA with distinction. I didn't have that initially on the agenda because I did not know, but Duke Valley Graduate School of Management. And so congratulations, Gabe, for this. It's a lot of work, great coursework. And very glad to have him as our team in a new position, but with his all knowledge that we can put him back.
And I would add too, that that's while he was doing his old position and having a family. So
Wow.
Jake put an awful lot of
It's a
work.
lot of efforts. Okay, we'll move on to the trustee report. Any trustee reports on meeting?
Yeah, attended the foundation meeting, and for anybody who wants to do it next year, I did my one term. I'm happy to do it again if nobody wants to, but if nobody wants it, just please raise your hand. It's a good group. They meet every other month rather than every month. And the biggest, I think, issue that they still have internally is trying to decide whether or not to stay a special, 503C, whatever they are, or public charity. And that, there's the difference is if they're a charity, there's a lot more freedom that they have in how they can support us. And particularly to the referendum, they would be able to do a lot more. But there's also a lot of strings attached to it. So they're being very cautious in their approach of seeking legal advice. So that's been on the agenda now, probably the last 3 meetings, I think. So it's a big decision. And it's one, when the foundation was first set up, they debated it and they picked this route. And it was the right choice at that time because there's a ratio of donors that you have to have. There's so many donors and they want more small donors than a few big donors. But the data for the last 3 years, they more than qualify if they want to go to the public. So again, we're still agonizing over that, but I expect a decision on that, I think the next meeting or 2. They've got a work plan draft. Shana was given the task of coming up with kind of for the whole year, what are the major projects and when are they going to be? So she's completed that. She presented that. Elizabeth mentioned, I think before the meeting started, that they've committed $25,000 to support for TPL. Frankly, I think that if we need more, I think they would be willing to go back to the well on that. But I think this is their way of saying, look, we're with you in the beginning. Let's see how it goes, and we can always revisit that. So they're very supportive. On September 30th, Kishwaukee Brewery is having a fundraiser in which $1 for every one particular beer. I don't have the name of the particular. Which is it?
Santel Ale.
There it is. There it is. $1 for every drink poured goes back to the foundation and to conservation district. So excellent on that. That's
Is it a good beer? Is it taste okay?
September 3rd. I've not had that particular one. No, I've had other pretty good stuff.
For the whole month of October.
Oh, for the whole month of
So
October.
it
Yeah,
kicks
pardon,
off
thank
on
you.
the 30th, but then it's good for the whole month of October, we like to call it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
My understanding is a drinkable beer. It's not a very specialized with, but it's one that, from what we heard this.
And then they're having a mixer on August 1st. So they have a number of social events being planned. And then they're also looking at putting together their strategic plan. And so a lot of discussion on how to move forward on that.
Excellent. Good. Report. Thank you. Anybody else attending? Okay. County liaison, John's not here tonight, he's not gonna be, he's up at Oshkosh. So we'll skip that. I don't have a report, because I didn't know I was gonna be. So we'll go to public comments. Yeah. Like a step. Public comments, anybody? Yes. Hi.
Hi, everyone knows me, Carolyn Campbell, County Board, and former trustee, but I wanted to, first of all, I actually thought I would be seeing you sworn in today, and so I've been gone too long, so I forgot how the timing goes, but, I wouldn't have been able to be here last week, but, wanted to say welcome and thank you for stepping up and, volunteering your time on this really important, mission and being a part of this great group of people. And I know I was going to tell you that it goes by very fast because it does. It flies by, but thank you so much for your time. The other thing I wanted to do was to thank you guys for a wonderful, wonderful picnic on the prairie. I was thinking I could get there the next night. John must be much better prepared for meetings than I am, because I thought, no, I'm not going to be able to get my stuff done, get over here and then get back. And he was here long enough to have cake and still make it back to our meeting on Tuesday at 7 o'clock.
Go figure.
Yeah, right, and you had a really good time. I could have done that, I totally could have done that, so I'm sorry. But I wanted to thank you so much, because it's a lot of effort to put that together. I know it wasn't with the foundation, but yourselves and the great staff that you have here. It was just a wonderful evening, and I think it's something that the district used to do quite a bit, kind of got away from it, so I really thank you and appreciate the fact that you got that started again. And we'll work on maybe getting the county to initiate something one of these days and plan a trip or something. The other thing I wanted to do about that is I know that the district doesn't spend public dollars on beer and wine. So when we do have these events, they're made possible by the generous donations that you guys bring to these things and staff members as well. So I appreciate the generosity and it really is a wonderful evening. So thank you. All right. Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, moving along to 13.0, the consent agenda.
Already.
Great,
Wait, no, I'm
that's
sorry,
right.
that's the secretary, sorry.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Pat, you get to read.
Yeah, you can read these now. See, I was too busy taking my notes.
Mr. Secretary or Madam Secretary.
We try to condense it down a little.
Yeah. You did.
Okay, 13.1. Approval of minutes of previous meetings. 13.1A, May 18th, 2023, Committee of the Whole Executive Session. 13.1B, May 23rd, 2023, Record Meeting Executive Session. 13.1C, June 15th, 2023, Committee of the Whole. 13.1D, June 16th, 2023, Special Call Meeting Gathering. 13.1E, June 20th, 2023, Regular Meeting. 13.2, Treasurer's Report. 13.2A, Acceptance of Treasurer's Report for June 30th, 2023, as presented. 13.3, Acceptance of the Investment Report Fiscal Year 2024, Quarter 1. 13.4, was Resolution number 23-55, authorizing destruction of listed verbatim recordings of executive session meetings prior to January 2022 in compliance with Illinois Open Meetings Act. 13.5, Resolution 23-56, authorizing release of the listed executive session meeting minutes to the public domain in compliance with the Illinois Open Meeting Act. 13.6, Resolution number 23-57, accepting the fiscal year 2024 fiscal 2028 strategic plan work plan as presented. 13.7, authorizing to prepare specifications and let bids for the purchase of unleaded diesel and propane fuels for a contract period of 1 year beginning September 1st, 2023. 13.8, resolution number 23-58, awarding contract for reciting Region 6 Ranger Shop to William Tunyon and Sons for a cost not to exceed $43,000. 13.9, resolution number 23-59, designating depository financial institutions for district funds from August 1st, 2023 through July 31st, 2024. 14.0, other board business.
Oh,
No, you
that's
stop right
consent, stop.
Yeah,
Oh, I see treasure.
that's,
That's
You
on a roll.
both have
Old
it.
habits, you want to go right.
one thing I want, there was a little correction on 13.7, should be unleaded comma diesel.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no such thing as unleaded.
That's true.
Okay.
Second.
Got moving second for the consent agenda. Go ahead and vote.
Trustee Zimmerman,
Yes.
Vice President Everard,
Yes.
Trustee Wazor,
Yes.
Secretary Fritz,
Yes.
Treasurer Gaten,
Yes.
and President Dom.
Yes. Okay, move along, 14.1, approval of bills payable for the month of June. From the treasurers, so wait, first approve that. So that take a-
Do the internal audit first.
Okay, you do the internal audit. Was there any request for any items to be pulled?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
Can I comment at this time?
Absolutely, this is.
Oh, okay, great. So I pulled a couple items, everything as always in line as usual. There's only one thing that, as I've kind of looked at this, done this audit over the last year that I've noticed, similar to our discussion, I think last week about fuel. And, you know, we were saying that some questions came up to, you know, well, why don't they go fill up? It's probably cheaper, those types of things. And we were discussing, well, the time involved easily makes sense. Everyone's got to go fill up their cars, takes time away. So similar to this, I pulled, I think it was a Menards receipt. And I've noticed, you know, there's lots of local shopping by the operations staff. And I did some operations for many years too. And, you know, I just wanted to bring up the topic of discussion that kind of similar to the gas, where employees will go out and get gas. And that's kind of a waste, I think, of time. It's definitely easier to have it on site. Would be similar that I would challenge employees to be prepared for the projects that they know that are coming up. Now, there's always things that come up, something breaks immediately, they've got to go to the store, they've got to get that. But I think there's also lots of other things that are in queue that they know they're going to do that, maybe that repair, that fix, or build something that day. And I think, you know, spending time at an Ace or Menards or a Home Depot and those types of places, that's employee time. And I would think like any of us, you know, I in the past, I've caught even staff where, you know, they're going to get a rattle can of paint and they're gone for an hour for a rattle can because they get kind of browsing, almost like we would. We lose track of what we're doing. You know, especially if you're a hands-on type of guy or gal, you know, you tend to go to the store and you can't help but look around. So I just, it's, as I've been seeing a lot of these local store receipts, and I want to support our local businesses as well, but also I would challenge to say that, you know, they can order online and put things in baskets and have it delivered to be a little bit more prepared for some stuff, you know, so.
I have one comment to that too, like steel equipment. They have a lot of chainsaws, weed eaters. You know, when I see lots of times, you know, where they went to Johnson Tractor and got two chains, you know. I don't know if maybe since they have so much equipment that maybe steel would like, when you do a lot of business, they like, they'll put like stuff that you normally need, like an inventory. You know, like chains or you know, line or stuff that consumable, stuff that breaks a lot, instead of having to
you know.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. My point is being prepared, and I know that they are. It's just easier to run to the store then and grab it rather than getting online and checking out and then having it delivered. And being prepared for that project. That's all. As I'm doing the audits, I notice there's lots of receipts, and the receipts are, they're clear and they're normal items, but sometimes I look at items and I'm like, a bench grinder or something probably could have, not shopped at. We probably knew that was maybe needed to be replaced or something. So, I don't know where the discussion goes. I just wanted to bring it up to the board at some of my thoughts. Saying
Observations, thank you for sharing, and we'll have a discussion with our team and then maybe report back to kind of thoughts and what are some perspectives with that.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Otherwise,
Ray, you're a vice for this other report. Sorry about that.
All right, so that takes care of 14.1A. 14.1B, I make a motion for the consideration to approve the payment of bills as indicated on the submission of bills pending report for the month ending June 30th, 2023.
second,
Moved in second.
Trustee Wazor,
Yes.
Vice President Everard,
Yes.
Trustee Zimmerman,
yes,
Secretary Fritz,
Yes.
Treasurer Gaten,
Yes.
President Dom.
Yes.
Fourteen point two, the Lions Prairie Marsh Conservation Area feasibility study that we spoke about last week. And the staff's recommendation to eliminate task 4, the hydraulic analysis on that, and the inclusion of task 5, a weight assessment. So consideration of a motion adopting resolution number 23-60, a resolution modifying the components of the feasibility study conducted by Hay and Associates Incorporated to address the changing shoreline at Lions Prairie and Marsh Conservation Area from adopted resolution number 22-71, which approved feasibility study tasks 1 through 4 for a cost not to exceed $38,065 by eliminating task 4, hydraulic analysis, and instead including task 5, a weight assessment, for a cost savings of $4,595, adjusting the total feasibility study at a cost not to exceed $33,740.
And we need a second. Second. All right. Moved and seconded. Go ahead with the roll call.
Trustee Zimmerman,
yes,
Secretary Fritz,
Yes.
Treasurer Gaten,
Yes.
Trustee Wazor,
Yes.
Vice President Everard,
Yes.
President Dom.
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right.
Right, moving on to 14.3. Go ahead.
Right, or is it Trent? Is that Trent?
Well, we're into other board business right now, so the treasurer.
Sorry, I didn't
That's
see
okay,
it.
keep going.
That's all right.
I didn't see the distinction.
That's okay. It's all good.
All right, so we'll go into 14.3, the execution of the First Amendment for the Camp Lakota Preservation Project addendum with the McHenry County Conservation Foundation. So we'll need to consider a motion adopting resolution number 23-61, resolution authorizing the execution of the First Amendment Camp Lakota Preservation Project addendum with the McHenry County Conservation Foundation.
And if I can just provide some
Yes.
clarification on this before we get a first and second on the post motion and action. So this has been discussed in executive session. We've been working with council and Val is here and we can confirm this. We are yet, there were some few items that are still being worked through with our attorney. However, I think what we're looking for with the motion this evening, just so there's concurrence, that I be given the authority to work with council to execute the necessary documents once once Attorney Payne is good with what is in here. And I think we're very close, very close, so that we don't have to wait till next month and meet our timelines, but it's just, we don't have it here this evening for you. This is.
Okay, well, maybe the motion actually should read that we're giving you the authorization to.
Correct.
to, execute that.
It's It said, I'm sorry to interrupt, it says it at the bottom of the resolution, I understand
Okay.
the motion, you'll have to read that part, but just so you know, just,
Got you.
it will be on the resolution as well at the bottom. That gives, the
Okay,
executive
that's
director
short
order,
version.
correct.
Got you.
I just wanted to make sure that we
So
did,
we
because we
get
didn't.
We need a first,
a motion for that,
So
Lloyd and, yeah.
okay,
sorry.
trustee Wazorek,
Yes.
trustee Zimmerman,
Yes.
treasurer Gaten,
Yes.
and secretary Fritz,
Yes.
vice president Everard,
Yes.
president Dom,
Yes.
motion passed.
And then move on to 14.4. This was added to the agenda, purchase of fleet vehicles for the fiscal year 2024. We had discussed it was budgeted. When was it? It was like 4 or 5 months ago, whatever. For this, and so anyways, we'll need a motion to adopt the resolution 23.62, resolution authorizing the purchase of 7 vehicles in the state of Illinois State Bid Purchasing Contract Bid 21-40416 CMS-P-29479, or to prepare specifications and let the bids for a total cost not to exceed 313,000, which would be bid number 0723.07.03. So basically, just so I'm clear, we either go on the state bid or go out to bid.
Correct. So these vehicles, these 7 vehicles have been budgeted. We've learned that the release, and so the state bid, as we've been in this whole procurement challenge of limited supply and resources, we want to have both options. So we're going to look to go to the state bid. We may be only given a few on the state bid and then be able to put the remainder out. If we can't get them all on the state bid, that gives us the option to prepare specs and then just let it out. Either way, both will, the purchase on the state bid, we'll be able to report back to you. If it's on the procurement of a bidlet, then we will bring those back for approval.
Matt, you have a question?
So, refresh my memory, this was on, the fiscal year, they're adding 2 more though.
So that was part of our budget. We have a replacement of 5 and we plan to add 2 new vehicles to the fleet for the budget plan. And those are for their natural resources team.
They're all pickups or cars or whatever.
Mostly
light duty, I'm
sure. Yeah, I have to pull up the board summary here. John's on board here. Do you have the fleet board summary?
Yes, I do. We have 2 Dodge Caravans. I think we're going to replace them with Pacificas. That's the new one that's out there on state bid. We have 2 pickups that are replacing 2 police Tahoes, and we have 1 pickup that's replacing one that was totaled a couple of years ago, and we have the 2 new Ford F-150s for the Land Preservation and Natural Resources Department. 5 of them are replacement, and 2 of them are new.
Pickups we're getting for the police force, are they 4-door pickups?
I believe, yeah, they have some term. I can't remember if it's extended cab or plus cab or something like that, but yeah, they do have seats in the back.
Gotcha. So they need to transport somebody at last. Okay.
With the F-150s, I know they just lowered the price of the electric one by 10,000. Is this something that we can look at?
Our issue with electric vehicles right now is that we do not have the infrastructure in our shops to charge them. A lot of our shops have 200 amp services, and I don't believe that that's enough or significant enough to power them or to quickly charge them. And what I mean by quickly is, charge them in overnight or something like that. The Larry Nichols, our buildings maintenance supervisor, is a former electrician, and he's the one that first identified that. So we've got to work toward that. And I have talked with them about getting some cost estimates for those kinds of things so we can get the infrastructure in place so that when we are ready for vehicles, and the vehicles have evolved to a point. One of the things that we're finding out is that these vehicles are pretty early in the evolution of their to being robust enough to handle what a truck and what truck we put, what we put on demands. We're hearing that from other agencies. We did kind of a review of that with some other agencies, and we're finding that out. We want to get the infrastructure in place, and then hopefully the vehicles will have evolved enough in a couple of years to start looking at that.
Any other questions, Pat, on that? Yes, need a motion or a second on that. So I made the motion. Need a second on that.
Okay.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Go ahead, big roll call.
Treasurer Gaten,
Yes.
Vice President Everard,
Yes.
Secretary Fritz,
Yes.
Trustee Wazorek,
Yes.
Trustee Zimmerman,
Yes.
President Dom.
Yes. Okay, yeah, unanimously. We'll move on to the executive director's report.
Okay, you have in your packet the quarterly reports that we provide, so the news clippings, the project status that shows the items over $25,000 that were budgeted for the year, so you can see how they're tracking. On that, you would see the vehicles that were budgeted for, but yet where they are, so this kind of, that aligns with that, as well as the vehicles that we're still waiting from last year that we had to reappropriate, so we're backlogged quite a bit. You also see the quarterly dashboard, which are the metrics for those that are new, tracking of registration, attendance numbers, et cetera. So we track those metrics, as well as the live dashboard that you were shown through our land preservation and natural resources. So that's available. And then the foundation update of how they're doing. So that's all included to be accepted. When we get to Q2, which is not part of this evening, you'll see the first strategic plan action of how we're doing on the tactics. So any questions on that, I'm happy to answer. If anyone had any questions about those quarterly reports, you can call me done tonight, but if there's something that you want to talk further, I'm happy to address that. The other item, landscapes, is out for fall. So yes, we're talking fall now. Beautiful. So this should be hitting, it's online, and it should be hitting mailboxes. So great information and program registration that's yet to be coming. The strategic plan, the highlights of direction is there, as well as just a recap of our annual finances. So that was out there for those that have seen that, as well as just tidbits on newsworthy things for our residents to be aware of. Chief King, just wanted to reiterate, and I've shared that with, she will be departing the district to take on an amazing opportunity with suicide prevention and training, something that is close to her. And so we thank her, but she will be with us through October. And we've gone through the process, and we have we've gone through an internal review, and we are proud to announce that Sergeant Stewart will be stepping up to be our new chief of police here at the Conservation District. So congratulations to Ryan. And then with that, we will be posting internally our sergeant position that's now vacant, and we'll let that process begin. So that's news on that front. And we'll talk more next month about some other highlights of the police department that we'll be celebrating. So that's all I have.
All right, going on to, I think we sort of already talked about committee assignments and reports. We'll look at that next month. Maybe we can even get those lists out earlier, and then we can.
Excellent.
Okay, so, okay. Public comments, number 2.
There's none online.
Okay, thank you. Entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Trustee Wazorek,
Yes.
Vice President Everard,
Yes.
Trustee Zimmerman.
Yes.
Secretary Fritz,
Yes.
Treasurer.
Yes.
We are adjourned.